Let's make a diamond in Houdini. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create the geometry. I'm just going to turn this off and let's get started. The way I like going about this is with a circle and a sweep. So I'm going to create those, and I'm also going to create a line, and I need this line to have 3 points, and then 3 transform nodes underneath the line. All of these need to be targeted points. This one will be version 2.10. And this way, if I move one of the transforms, I can create the shape that I want it to be. First thing I want to do is move one of the transform nodes up, the middle one, the specific. And then I'm going to move the top and the bottom one in. You can do that both with the arrow keys or just with translate value here. Then in the circle you can choose how many subdivisions you want your diamond to have. I'll give it about 7. And this clipping right here is fine, because right after we're going to create a fuse node that's going to get rid of that clipping by fusing the bottom points together. Then I'm going to create a polyfill, so we can have a nice top on this. And I'm also going to rotate the diamond sideways. Then with a poly bevel node, I'm going to create the this little edge, so about this much, and I'm going to turn on ignore flat edges and just turn that up to where it only affects this edge. There's a labs node called edge damage, which works really well in this case, and I'm going to put that to boolean. And before the edge damage node, we need to put a reverse node, and that way it gives us a nice detail on the edges, and it also roughs up the point a little bit, which I like. Then what I'm going to do is this edge attribute actually creates a mask that also has an attribute that we can use in a color node. So I'm just going to create a ramp from attribute mask and turn the black all the way up. Next up, we're going to make a shader. I'm just going to create a material node in a material blender. And in the material node, I'm going to add the blender. And to the base color of this, I'm going to add a iris material preset water. And I'm going to put the IOR to 2.418, which is the refractive index of diamonds. And the color I'm going to make slightly red. And I'm also going to enable the thin walled reflection. Then I'm going to copy this. And on the copy, I'm going to put the roughness to 0.5. Then I have blend color. I'm going to create a node called user color data. And that allows us to grab the color data we created in this node over here. Then in we can use a iris curvature node. And this curvature node, we can set the radius of what we want the edges here to have more noise. So I'm just going to create a temporary material. I'm going to put that in the base color of the blender. And I'm going to put the diffuse color to the curvature. And that way, if I render a camera, you can see that this Focus the other camera. This isn't the thing we want to make yet, but if we put the radius down, we can create pretty sharp lines around all the damage and around all the edges. And then I can remove this material and put this back and use the curvature as the reflection roughness. And I'm going to put a remap ramp between these. So I'm going to preview this one again, so I'm just going to this. And this way I can see exactly what value of refraction I'm going to get there. I think white's a bit too much, so let's go about there. There. And now I can just put this shader back in here. Go. And as you can see, we have these nice edges that have more of a detail. And then I'm also gonna slightly lower the roughness on this one. A bit nicer. I'll frame the diamond correctly. And the lighting in this scene is pretty easy. It's just a simple HDR, which I disable, but redshift and disable HDRs are a bit funky. So it's just this one. And you can add more lights to your scene to give it a bit more detail or visibility. And that's about it.